Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on our sneak peek view of ClearStream RFID. My name is Brad Horn. I'm the Vice President of Sales here at PTS, and joining me today is Howie Heckman, one of the lead developers at PTS. And today we're going to talk about our newest product, or what we're considering one of the most exciting products we have coming out in our pipeline, and it's called ClearStream RFID. Now, on first glance, people have asked us, and it may look like we're maybe losing a little focus. Not being a mobile software company, people are asking, well, why are you at PTS moving away from that and going into this fixed RFID world? So I figured I'd start off the webinar just giving you a little bit of our history and really what our focus is about. And it should be pretty apparent why we're excited about the product and why we've developed it. So if you've been with PTS and the Tracer Plus product family for any sort of time, you know that our goal has always been to take the latest and greatest hardware technology focused on barcode scanning, RFID, those features that make data collection very easy, and offering a software solution that anyone can use to add efficiencies to their business. And over the years, we've done that, I would consider, pretty successfully. 10 years ago, we offered Palm OS software, and we moved into the Windows mobile world around 5 years ago. And over the summer, you'll see us come out with an Android iOS-compatible version of Tracer Plus. And all of these are really focused on making development of mobile applications very simple for our end users, so no longer do you have to be a programmer, or do you have to be a programmer who wants to learn a new language. You don't have to be that person to create a mobile application. Well, around a year ago, we introduced a new feature. We talked about it a lot, we buzzed it a lot, and that was our RFID the right way. Mobile RFID, the ability to walk into a room and pull a trigger on a mobile handheld and scan all of those items in that room and build exception reports, update tags, write to tags, and do all these great, neat things that really sped up the data collection process. Well, in the process and selling this and seeing the success of it, we heard from our customers over and over, you know, this is great, we love this, but the idea of RFID also can be used in what we'll call an unintended world. They have these fixed readers that the manufacturers make, and we just want to set those readers up in certain rooms where it doesn't pay to have a person go in. Maybe it's a remote warehouse, maybe it's a check-in, check-out gate where cars or trucks are going through. Maybe it's somewhere where employees are going through occasionally, and it doesn't really pay to have a full-time attendant there. Maybe it's a 24/7 operation, and it's in a hospital, and they need to keep track of the supplies, critical supplies, in a storage room. Well, how can I do that? We have these readers, but I just want to stream that data, my inventory or the check-in, check-out data, into some sort of database. And not wanting to reinvent the wheel, we looked out into the marketplace trying to give our customers suggestions. And we found out very quickly that it wasn't available. It was expensive to get into the fixed RFID world. Unless you were Walmart, you really couldn't afford the software that was out there. Or you had to be a programmer to custom write something. And we didn't feel it had to be that way anymore. We know we did it successfully in the mobile world, and we also knew that this would integrate really well with all the solutions we were putting out with RFID. We kept on hearing, well, we want this ability to do unattended visibility, to see things without being there. That's the idea of RFID, and that's what we developed with ClearStream RFID. Howie, one of the lead developers, is now going to kind of piggyback on what I just said and tell you a little bit more of the history and why we're excited about the product and what it does.
Thanks, Brad. Thanks again for joining us, everybody. My name again is Howie Heckman, one of the developers here, and I'll be giving you a little bit of a sneak peek of the application, ClearStream, how it's configured, how you set things up, and do a little bit of a sample read so you can see some of the tags get dumped into an Access database that I have set up here. But before I jump into the demonstration, I just wanted to touch on a little bit of what Brad mentioned with some of the previous data collection technologies out there and how they've kind of grown and proven themselves out in the field. The first one here is barcode scanning. This is kind of where PTS started, being able to create applications for data collection utilizing barcode technology, and PTS came in and simplified that. You know, the custom design software from start to finish isn't completely necessary. You can design these mobile applications and deploy them out in the field rather quickly. And given the ability of those applications have proven that technology out in the field. And kind of in growing that in the barcode scanning with Tracer Plus, we've grown that into the RFID mobile applications as well. So mobile RFID, which we've seen a lot of success with, really builds on the technology of barcode scanning in a much more efficient way. So now people can take some of the mobile forms that they've created for barcode scanning, enhance them with the mobile RFID component, and now go out into a room and maybe scan the entire room at once, or scan the entire inventory without having to fumble and find the barcode on a package. So it's really built on top of the barcode data collection process, increased efficiency, and again, it's proven itself out in the field because the tools are available through Tracer Plus and Tracer Plus Desktop for anyone to design these mobile forms, design these mobile applications, push them out into the field, and get up and running quickly. So with those deployments, we've also seen now the need for the fixed RFID component. Well, if I can develop these mobile applications for RFID and there's these fixed readers available, maybe a mobile worker doesn't have to be in the process of scanning certain locations, a stock room in healthcare or something like that, where maybe a fixed reader can just read the room every once in a while and capture that inventory, and you have immediate visibility of that information. So that's where ClearStream RFID kind of fills that gap in the data collection deployment. So you have both the mobile component with barcode scanning and mobile RFID, as well as now fixed RFID. And ClearStream really brings the ability, or what we've done in the past with barcode scanning and mobile RFID scanning, makes it so that anybody can configure it. So it's something that we saw that was missing, was the ability to say, okay, well, there's these fixed readers, but how am I going to set them up on within my network? How am I going to get that information from the readers back into maybe some system that I already have in place? And how am I going to just get that up and running? Well, ClearStream's here to answer that. It's here to answer the quick to configure, quick to set up, and quick to deploy problems with fixed RFID. Okay, so I'm going to actually jump now over to the application started up here for you guys so you can see how easy it is to configure ClearStream. So I'll hop out of the PowerPoint. I'm going to go ahead and open up the ClearStream RFID Management Studio. Now, briefly while this starts up here, I'd just like to mention that this application, after you install it, would be kind of the second step in the process. The first step would actually be taking a supported RFID reader and attaching it to your network. And I just want to give you a description of that so that you'll see then when I walk through this demo here how easy it is to grab those fixed RFID readers and hook them up to in this case, an access database. So when the fixed readers are installed, they're really installed on your local area network. You just plug the cable in, then plug the reader into a power outlet, and at that point you would have the reader on the network. And it's somewhere on the network, and maybe we don't even know where it is, but it's just on your network, just as any other PC on the local network would be installed, or a laptop or anything like that. And then what you do is come through with ClearStream RFID and actually start configuring how that reader is going to start reading tags and where those tags are going on the back-end database side. So to do that, I'm going to go into the ClearStream configuration here. Okay, and the first thing I want to do is add this process to my list. Now, for each reader that you have set up on the network, you would add one process. And the process is really just going to say, okay, my reader 123 that I have at some location, that's going to be sending the tags to my destination that I select on the right-hand side of this form. So right now I'm going to just configure one reader to sync or to read into an access database. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and select the source type to be the symbol or Motorola RFID reader. Okay, and what this does is it now allows me to enter where that reader is on the network. And like I had mentioned before, maybe we just plugged the reader in and we don't know where it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and click this search button. This is actually going to go through our network looking for these fixed RFID readers, and when it finds one, we can select that to be the one that we want to configure. So I'm just going to start this process here, and this will take a little while, but it's going through the network and looking for RFID readers on the network. Okay, and then once this is done, you can see some additional information about those fixed readers. and go ahead and select the one you'd like to start reading from and start reading tags as tags are read from that reader. So again, this is just going through the network here. Okay, there, found one reader on our network here. This one happens to be a Motorola FX7400 fixed reader. You can actually see some of the additional information here about where the IP address of the reader, the model number, and so on. If there were more readers on our network, you would see the additional readers pop up in this list. And at this point, you can go ahead and select the one you'd like to use. So I'm just going to cancel this read here. But I'm going to go ahead and select this FX7400 as the reader that I'd like to start reading tags from. So I'm just going to hit select. Okay, it'll fill in some of the information that I just got from the reader in the form here. And now on the destination side, I want to say, okay, well, I have this reader. Where is where are the tags going that are read from that reader? So in this case, I'm going to select ODBC, which is just a database. Okay, I'm going to pick a sample RFID database that I have here, and I'm going to select the RFID tag list table within that database. Now this could also be something, it could even be just a text file if you wanted to do like a read to a tab delimited text file. It could be an Excel spreadsheet, but it really gives you incredibly flexible choice of databases that you'd like to read into. So within a couple minutes here, you could start reading into an Excel spreadsheet if you'd like. But I'm just going to go ahead and pick my RFID tag list access database. And then down on the bottom, I just want to marry up the fields of information that are collected on the reader to the fields of information, the fields that are in this database table here. So I'm just going to remove this field here, and I want to go ahead and add the reader name to the data that's sent to the database. Okay, so at this point, I could go ahead and start this reader up, and it's going to start reading the tags that it picks up and sends them to this RFID tag list. So if I wanted to, at that point, I could just get up and running, and I'm reading tags directly into this access database. But I'm going to go ahead and configure some additional stuff here just to make it a little bit more interesting. For the reader name, this is actually information that gets posted with each tag that's read. I'm going to go ahead and give it a name of something like Building 100, just so I know that this kind of a descriptive name for this reader, so that I know every tag that's read from this reader, it came from Building 100. Okay, so I'll put that there. And then the next thing I want to do is actually jump into this Advanced tab here and configure some additional settings for the reader. Up on the top, you'll see you have different scan modes. So you can have you can read tags in a continuous mode, so the reader's always on, always reading tags, and always sending those tags to the destination. You can set up timed reads, so you can have the reader go maybe once a day for some period of time, read all of the tags in a particular location, and then send them to the destination. Or in this case, this GPI, or general purpose input trigger, this is something like you could set up a button on the reader, or maybe some kind of light sensor, so it'll start scanning when that trigger is pressed. So that's something maybe if you wanted when a door opens up, begin reading tags and begin sending those tags to a database table. Okay, but down below, I have an antenna list here. If you want to set up different properties of an antenna, you can do that here. On my reader, I happen to have two antennas set up, and I'm going to go ahead and change the name of the antennas. Let's say maybe room 1 and room 2. Okay, so those names are also posted with each tag that's read, so you know which antenna on the reader the tag was actually read from. To the right here, I also have the transmit power, the read power of the antennas. If you wanted to reduce the read strength, maybe so that you're only reading within the width of a door or something like that, you could reduce the power here. I'm going to leave it as 30 for now, just so you can see a bunch of tags being read. Okay, but those are the two antennas I have set up. On this GPIO, or General Purpose Input Output tab, this is actually pretty interesting. You can set up on these readers different outputs. You can raise different outputs to power kind of different peripherals for the reader. You could do things like turn on a light when the RFID reader begins reading tags, or maybe power up a buzzer so that if a tag's read that's not supposed to, you can configure that here. And again, there's no programming involved in configuring these outputs. You're just adding to this list here of when you'd like the outputs to be raised and what is going to be causing them. So we have set up some samples that may be included with ClearStream to read things like read tags, and if a tag is picked up that's not supposed to be in there or not supposed to be in that list, it'll actually power up a buzzer so it'll start beeping. Okay, but for the demo, I'm going to leave the outputs blank here, and I'm going to leave the scan mode on continuous, just so you can see it pick up a bunch of tags and dump them to the destination. Okay, so you can see here I've configured two antennas, room 1 and room 2, both on the building 100 reader. Just before I start this up, I do want to mention that on the destination side, you can change how the tags are posted to that destination. So in the demo here, I'm going to set it up just to append, so you'll see all of the tags that are read are getting posted to the destination. But you can also do things like update the list. So if the tag's already in your database table, every time that tag's read, it won't add a new tag or a duplicate tag. It'll actually update that in the row with the new information. So you can imagine that being good for something like tracking an item around a warehouse, or maybe in and out of different offices within a building. If you're updating that, say that antenna name, anytime that tag is picked up throughout the location, it's updated with the new area that it was read from, or new antenna that it was read from. So maybe in my case, if I did an update existing, when that tag went from room 1 to room 2, that information would change and you'd see that in the database table. Okay, but for the demo here, I'm just going to leave this as append, and I think I have everything configured here. I'm just going to actually go ahead and start this up. So to do that, I would just go ahead and save my project and jump over to the start-stop form here. And on this start-stop form, you'll see each of the readers that you have configured, and I only have one right now, but if you had, say, 100 fixed readers, you would have them all on this list, and it would kind of give you status of whether or not they're currently running. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is actually just hit this start button. Actually, before I do that, I would like to show you my access database table so that you can see there's no tags in there. Here's the database that we're reading into in Microsoft Access. And if you remember from when I was selecting the destination, I picked this RFID tag list table. If I open that up, you'll see there's no tags in this list right now. If I actually go ahead and go back over to ClearStream now and start my readers up, by hitting this start button, this is actually just going to connect to the reader that we just configured. It powers it up to start reading it, and I have it in a continuous scan mode, so you can see the activity down here on the bottom of all of the tags that are read. So as they're picking up tags, it's just reading those and then sending the tags to the destination. This now, it's obviously in a continuous mode, so you'll keep seeing it pop up here, but I do have a number of tags underneath the reader currently, and underneath the two separate antennas on that reader. And now if I jump back over, you notice I just stopped that, but if I jump back over to our access database and I refresh this table, you can now see that I just read 839 tags and dumped them directly into this access table. So you can see also the antenna name that I just named here, room 1 and room 2, so you can see which antenna they were just picked up on. You can see the signal strength that the tag was read from. You can see a date time stamp as to when it was read, and also the reader name, which is building 100, which I defined in the setup there. So you can see really quickly I was just able to select a source, which I found with that search feature. I selected destination to be an access database table, and I just started reading tags into this backend table here, and you can see within that 30 seconds or so, I just read 839 tags. Now these are duplicate, or there could be duplicate tags in here, but if I had switched the post type to be update, then it would be always updating those tags with the new information, and you wouldn't have duplicates in the list. Okay, so that's kind of it for what I wanted to show you with ClearStream today, just a brief introduction of the product. We're really excited again about this product and how the ease of use of it. We've really added features to try to get people up and running with fixed RFID scanning within a matter of minutes. We could probably set up multiple reads to many different readers in here, and if you're familiar with everything, in just under a minute you could probably get up and running. But with that, I'd like to just jump back over to the presentation, I guess, and at this point jump into maybe some of the tools that you'll need to get up and running with a full installation of both the ClearStream product as well as the fixed readers. So from this screen here, this kind of gives you just an idea of what you'll need to get up and running. This is a Motorola FX7400 fixed RFID kit. This is one of the supported readers through ClearStream. So in order to get off the ground and running with the application and a reader, you would just need basically just the fixed RFID reader here, some sample tags to start reading with that reader, as well as the ClearStream application. So it's really just a couple components that you need to get up and running, and this slide here kind of just describe some of that. And then you can set up any of the number of the applications like that we talked about today to start reading tags. I would also like to mention with the installer for ClearStream, we are going to provide pre-built sample projects. So not only are we going to provide just the application and go get up and running with a blank slate there, we'll also provide sample room inventory applications, stock room inventory applications, and different tag tracking applications that will all be pre-built, and you can just basically a file open and begin reading tags with the access database that's provided with the installer.
Let me just dive in here, Howie. That was really a great presentation. I think it really shows what we were trying to do and how successful PTS has been at accomplishing the task of creating a tool that now anyone, including a salesperson like myself, I could actually download this and set it up pretty quickly. And we've done it internally and tested it in some of our customer service folks. We've given it to a few test customers, and it's really that easy to set up. Something that used to take days and thousands of dollars can now be really set up in a matter of minutes after you install those readers into the network. Not only is it great for the inventory and the check-ins and check-outs, but just think about the possibilities, the other things you could set up with this application. Maybe you're checking in, checking out kits, or you want to set up custom alerts that certain people can't leave a room with certain types of equipment. All these things can be set up within the tool and all run side by side within the same tool. So it's not a singular purpose. It can be set up to do hundreds of different things at once. We look forward to you guys calling our sales group and our tech group after you get a chance to trial the application. Again, we can't say it enough. We're excited about where this product's going and what it's opening up in the way of possibilities to our users. And we look forward to working with you on and making sure these things take place.